If you're a pastor or a ministry leader who feels like investing is just one of those things you don't have time for, I completely understand that. Between preparing sermons, counseling church members, leading staff, all of the different things that you have to do, it's like there's no time left over to add something else to your plate, right? The thought of managing money and making trades and investments and learning the stock market, all of that can just feel a bit overwhelming. I fully understand that. But today, I want to show you how investing actually can fit into that busy lifestyle, even when your schedule is already packed, and why it might actually be one of the best things that you can do. But in this video, I want to show you how investing can actually fit into that busy life schedule, even with that already packed calendar, and why it might actually be one of the best things that you can do, not just for your own financial health, but for the longevity of your ministry, for your overall well-being, and for peace of mind. Because the truth is, ministry burnout isn't just caused by the ministry itself, right? A lot of times it's financial stress behind the scenes that's quietly draining us. I still remember when this all became very real for me. I was leading a growing ministry, doing what I loved, but behind closed doors, it was a different story. I was carrying this kind of low-grade anxiety about money all the time. I wasn't sure how we were going to pay for our future needs, how we were going to make our rent this month, all the expenses, the credit cards, all of that kind of stuff. Even contributing to a retirement account wasn't really on the table because we just didn't have any money. And so if I put money there, then I wouldn't be able to afford all this. And it was just an incredibly stressful thing, even though ministry was going really well. It just simply wasn't sustainable. I kept telling myself, you know what, I'll figure this out later. I've got plenty of time. But that later moment never really came. I just kept kicking that can further and further down the road. Ministry always felt urgent, and finances really kind of felt optional. But then I realized that if I wanted to serve well and to finish strong in ministry years down the road, I can't ignore this part of my life. Stewardship isn't just about how we use our time and our gifts. It's also about how we manage the resources that God has placed in our hands. And I think a lot of us in ministry live with this mindset that someday when the church is bigger, when my kids are out of the house, or when the next capital campaign is over, then I'll work on our finances. Then I'll pay attention to it. When I get done with this bit of schooling, then I'll give attention to it. I just need to put all of my focus over here. But here's the problem. Time is either working for you or it's working against you. The longer we wait, the harder it becomes. But the good news is, when you keep things simple, getting started with investing doesn't have to take a lot of your time or your mental energy. Yeah, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but that's why people like me are here, is to help minimize that curve and to help guide you in that process. It actually can be relatively simple. It can take a fairly small amount of time, and the peace of mind and the confidence that you get from doing this, I think you'll find actually frees up a lot of that mental and emotional bandwidth so that you can be better focused on other parts of your life, even though you've added something here. So this little piece that you're adding can provide so much greater benefit than the typical mindset of, oh, I just don't think I can add another thing to my plate right now. And so here's the framework that I teach busy pastors and ministry leaders who want to start investing without getting overwhelmed. Step number one is to keep it simple. And I use seasonal investing for that. I'm a big believer in something called seasonal stock patterns. These are historical trends where certain stocks tend to perform well at specific times of the year. For example, maybe retail company that does really well in the months leading up to the holidays, or a tech company that performs really well year in and year out around back to school season, or something of that nature. So by following these patterns, you can actually cut out about 90% of the noise that you hear about in the market. You're not chasing every news story. You're not checking your account every hour, or sitting in front of a monitor all day long. You're looking at a small, focused list of stocks, knowing when they tend to move, and letting history guide your decisions. This method works especially well for busy ministry leaders because it doesn't really require your daily or minute by minute involvement. You can plan trades ahead of time, you can set up your entries, you can go back to your regular schedule, and most of the time you can do this from your phone wherever you are. Step 2, make small, steady contributions to your brokerage account. Another mistake that pastors make is to think that they need to wait until they have the thousands of dollars stockpiled up before they can start investing. That's simply not true. One of the pastors that I work with started with just putting like $50 a month into an account, and that's it. But over time, that adds up, and with smart stock choices, those small seeds can multiply. The key is consistency here. Investing isn't about timing the market perfectly. It's about staying in the market faithfully. And so as you're continually month after month putting small amounts into this account and then letting that money work for you, you're going to see exponential growth in that account. So even if you can only spare a small amount right now, I promise you the future version of you is going to thank you for getting started making those small contributions today. And step number 3, use what you already know. One of the easiest ways to pick your first stock is simply to look at the businesses you already interact with. Where do you shop? What products do you recommend or do you like the best? What services does your church use? And maybe looking at that and having some personal or emotional connection to the stocks that you're trading can help. And in most companies, you'll find some kind of seasonal trend, and I can teach you how to do all of that in later videos. But chances are some of these companies that you really, really like are publicly traded companies and may even have a seasonal edge at different times of the year. And if you believe in what they're doing, you can invest in their success. And this takes kind of the mystery out of stock picking because you're not researching some random biotech company that you don't understand or have never heard of, or putting your money into a very risky penny stock or something like that, thinking that eventually it's going to become this huge company. You're not wasting your time with that kind of stuff. You're partnering with businesses you already know and trust. And this is where stewardship comes full circle. Proverbs 13:11 says that dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers little by little will make it grow. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. Investing isn't about getting rich quick. It's about gathering a little bit at a time, over time, with wisdom and with discipline. And beyond the financial benefits, there's just simply a peace that comes with knowing that you are taking care of your family and your future. It frees you up to serve without that constant pressure of how are we going to make ends meet. You know, when we manage our money wisely, we actually are modeling biblical stewardship to our churches and to our families, and we show them that faith and finances don't have to be at odds. That it's possible to trust God deeply while also taking smart, responsible action on our own. One thing I always tell pastors is this: don't let investing become your second full-time job. It's easy to get sucked into the rabbit hole of financial news and stock tips and market drama, but remember, the goal is freedom, not obsession. Set up a system that takes no more than 10 or 15 minutes a week. Check your trades, look over your watch list, make any adjustments that are needed, and then log out and go back to living your life. And that's the beauty of this approach. It's designed to work within your busy schedule, not against it. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed about investing, or you've told yourself you just don't have time or money to do it, I hope that this has encouraged you. You don't have to do everything all at once. Start small, stay consistent, keep it simple, and trust that as you steward what God has given you, He's going to be faithful with the results. So thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today. I hope that this has helped take some of the fear and mystery out of getting started. And if it did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and maybe repost or share this video with a buddy who would find it interesting as well. And I will see you guys in the next video as we keep learning about how to both grow our finances and grow in our faith.